I'm Ghastly, and today we are doing a little bit of a community build for my current save file that I'm working on. I'm redoing all of the buildings in this save file in like all the neighborhoods, and oh my gosh, it's just so much work. It's ridiculous. Why do I do this to myself? But in today's build, we have a kind of a community center, and it's based off of one that I went to when I was living in Japan that had like a skating rink, a bowling alley. I mean, this place had everything. It had like 3 floors of arcades. It was like heaven in a building. It was amazing. And of course, I can't quite do it justice in The Sims, but I tried to do as much as I could here. So we have 3 floors of really cool stuff, and starting off, we have the skating rink, which I did have to use cheat codes for that one. So you go into your cheat menu with the Control, Shift, and C, and then you can do the bb.move objects, and that will allow you to kind of put objects into each other and kind of really squish stuff in there a little bit better than you can without that cheat. So that is one cheat code that I use almost every time that I build, and we'll be doing a couple of other little things, and I will have that on the screen for you so you know what we're doing. I tried my best to not use any of the creative or custom content on this, but I did end up using an elevator mod and I think a few other things, but other than that, everything is from the game itself and should not you shouldn't have any trouble bringing this into your game from the gallery, except for the elevators, which I will be linking in the description where to pick those up from LittleMsSam's mods, and definitely recommend that one. I've used it so many times. I freaking love it. It's better. I love elevators so much more than stairs, and yeah. So here's another one. The Control F right here will give you the little triangle pieces so that you can kind of build corners on your, right there, like we have our little corner there on the carpet. It just makes it look a little bit nicer, I think. I didn't do too much with the outside of this building. I did go into the debug menu, which you again go into the cheat menu with Control, Shift, and C, and then you can do bb.show hidden objects and also bb.show live edit objects, and that will bring up a lot of things. You go into your search menu and type debug, and that will have a lot of the things that EA has used to create the so the parts that aren't really editable editable. Oh my gosh, I'm like goofy from my allergies. I'm so sorry. So it brings in a lot of stuff that usually we wouldn't have available to us, but it really adds a lot to your builds. So like the cars and stuff, a lot of that is out of the debug menu. So here I'm actually going ahead and starting on the play area. This is going to be kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese on steroids. Of course, I have the opening the door and like the counter where you get your tickets and you set up all your stuff, but through the glass windows over there is going to be kind of like a little play area where smaller kids can go, and they've got like the ball pit and the tubes to climb through and all that fun stuff. And there is some of the elevators, which again I will definitely be linking that, so don't worry. I wanted to do a lot more arcade stuff than I had on this one, but I did end up just using that because that's actually the only arcade game that we really have available to us with actually provided by the game. There are tons of really great custom content arcade options out there, so I definitely recommend checking those out if you enjoy adding custom content to your game. And I'm actually going to be doing a tutorial on how to add that kind of stuff to your game safely without worrying about viruses and stuff, so that's actually probably going to be my next video coming out, so be sure to keep an eye out for that one, and of course subscribe so that you know when it's here. And all of the bathrooms pretty much are the same thing. I really wanted to keep the same theme throughout the building just because, you know, most buildings, they don't really have like, sometimes they'll have like a unique building on, or a unique bathroom on every floor, but usually it's just the same thing. So the bathrooms pretty much, they follow this all the way through the entire building, which is, I think we have 3 sets of bathrooms. I wanted to keep the bathrooms fairly plain, but I was happy that I got to put the cloud mirror that we got in, I think it was the birthday pack where we got the cloud mirror. I love that mirror, and I'm so happy to put it pretty much anywhere that I possibly can. And since the bathrooms are kind of shared between adults and kids, I wanted to have, especially down in this one next to the play area, I wanted to have the cloud mirror because why not when you can? Now, as far as the skating rink area, I wanted to really follow kind of like the 80s, 90s skating rink. I really wish I could find the carpet, like the stereotypical skating rink carpet. I was going to go with a purple one, but the blue one just ended up matching the decor inside the actual skating area a little bit better. And yeah, okay, whatever. I'll go with blue. I might go in and add some custom content if I can find the actual like stereotypical skating rink carpet. And here I have just a little eating area, and again another arcade, and of course we have tons of trash cans because we need those. Oh, and I also recommend putting a dishwasher fairly close, just kind of sticking it into the counter there so that you don't have dishes just sitting around because Sims are slobs. So as far as in here, I wanted it to be very bright, very colorful. I went through a couple of different ideas for like what I wanted, but like the ball pit and the tubes was just like we had to have as many of those as possible. And there are actually 2 different options, and I think that those come with the I think they're in like the toddler play stuff. Either that one or the parenthood pack. I can't remember. I want to say it was like the toddler stuff though, because it just makes sense because the toddlers are the ones that can play in that one. And I know the rainbow walls are pretty definitely not my usual, but it just fits for like, you know, the kids play area and rainbows, and yeah. So of course we need more trash cans because that's definitely like Sims just like to make a lot of trash. And here I wanted to use something to kind of look like the so like the little lockers that like you pay a quarter and you get your little key that you put around your wrist, and you know, they have them at like amusement parks and stuff, and I kind of wanted to do something that looked like those. And maybe it just looks like a filing cabinet, but it's close enough for me that I'm like, yeah, you know, from far enough away it looks like the lockers, and we don't have lockers really, that specific kind of locker. I think we do have a set of lockers, or maybe that's actually custom content, I don't know. But the lockers that I have didn't really look like the lockers that I wanted, so that's why I went ahead and used the filing cabinets for that. And of course, you know, we have to have a place for the parents to kind of sit around like, oh my gosh, are these kids done playing yet? And I did go ahead and add another arcade in there just because maybe it has like little kids games instead of like, you know, like Caillou instead of Mortal Kombat, or you know, just a little bit younger games in that one. I do go ahead and add in an actual restaurant up on the 2nd floor of the building, but out here with like the basketball area and a really cool area where it's like overlooking the water and the little play area over to the side, I did go ahead and add a couple of like a la carte little stalls just for people to kind of get some grab and go food and just enjoy their time outside, or you know, right after skating or something, just something a little bit less or I guess a little bit more casual than the actual pizza restaurant that we have up on the 2nd floor with the bowling alley. So just, you know, a nice little outdoor dining area. I really have such a wide variety of personalities going on in this save file that I like having a kind of a varied options available for them. So say somebody doesn't like pizza, so they're going to want to go get like a coffee or something, or maybe the parents are hanging out and they just want to go have, you know, like a coffee and a bagel or something while their kids are skating and read a book overlooking the water. You know, just a little, you know, I like having options for my Sims because it really adds, I think, to the storytelling, and it just makes your Sims happier. Probably not. They probably don't care, but I care. And since this is more of like a commercial property, I really didn't do too much as far as the landscaping, at least not as much as I would do on a residential property. I just don't feel like it's that big of a deal, honestly. Maybe I was just being lazy, I don't know. But I really wanted to keep it simple when it came to the landscaping on this one, because the actual building itself that I was modeling it after really wasn't that flashy of a building anyway. It was just kind of like a basic building, and really the star of the show on this one was the inside, where the outside was just like this unassuming kind of building. So I really wanted to kind of keep that whole theme going on with this build. And of course I wanted to do kind of like a more family style eating area outside outside of the kids play area. So I did do just a couple of picnic tables versus the kind of fancier tables that are out by the skating area, and I struggled so much trying to figure out what I wanted the walls on the exterior of this building to look like. I finally ended up going with just like a white brick, but oh man, I went through like 800 different options and there was like none of them really like spoke to me. So I just kind of tried to keep it with the way the actual building itself looked that I was modeling it after. So you are welcome to change that if you download this build and you don't like the exterior, because yeah, I could not find what I was looking for. So that is pretty much it for the first floor of this building. I do go in and add a lot of like decorative stuff, but I'm not going to show you guys that because that would make this video like way too long. So as far as the basic build, that is it for the first floor. And then going up to the second floor, we have the bowling alley and the pizza restaurant. And there is kind of like a bowling alley bar here, but I still consider that part of the bowling alley itself. And of course, we have, once again, our elevators. You do have to use a different set of elevators to go between each floor. So like the second floor here is going to have 2 elevators. So there's going to be one going down to the first floor and then one going up to the third floor. And with the working elevators everywhere mod, you do actually need City Living and Jungle Adventures for that to work. So just something to kind of keep in mind if you're thinking of picking up that mod or this build. And once again, the bathroom is the exact same thing. I really wanted to keep it kind of like a theme going with the bathrooms. When everything else was kind of a cool, unique area, like the bathrooms were just the same thing. Now just outside of the bathrooms here is where I end up building kind of like a hallway for the employees. So it's kind of like an employee hangout area, and I have from the actual Star Wars pack that I know, I know I'm probably going to get downvotes just for even mentioning that pack, but I think that it is a great pack because it offers so many unique build items. I actually ended up using a droid building shelf. I forget the actual name of it, but it's got like little pieces of droids in it, and it just looks like kind of the back shelf areas that I would see with like pieces of animatronics and stuff when I worked at Chuck E. Cheese as a kid. So I wanted to have that one in as part of my build just because it really felt like it matched the what the back area of this kind of restaurant and just the whole building itself would look like. And I did go ahead and do the booth thing again in this restaurant like I did in my Asian restaurant at Mount Komorebi, and I don't think that the booths actually work, and this is one of the most frustrating things to me. I cannot figure out how to make these booths work, and you would think, I mean, they give us the parts to make a booth, so why not let them sit on both sides? But as far as I can tell, the Sims can only sit on one side of that table, and it is like, if there is anything that I'm going to complain about Sims 4, it's probably that. Okay, I probably have like a couple of other things I complain about, but for the most part, I'm like, okay, I can make do, but that just aggravates the crap out of me. So if you figured out how to make that work, and maybe I'm just being dumb, please leave me a comment and let me know how to fix that, because I cannot for the life of me figure it out. Just a couple of more pieces going into the restaurant. I think I added some like cold storage shelves, and of course our waiter station, and all of that, and kind of put a little bit more into the back area. I did finish a lot of that up again when I did the decorating, which you'll be able to see in the screenshots later in this video. But then going on to the bowling alley, which I had a little bit of an issue because nothing wanted to snap into place when I was building this, but otherwise I mean, they give you pretty much everything you need in the bowling alley pack, and I think that they do actually give you like 1 or 2 pre-made bowling alleys, but of course that isn't really going to work in this building, so I had to build my own. And you would think that it would like make sense what a bowling alley looked like, but for some reason like it just was not coming together in my head. And that light right there, like the arrow light, it was driving me absolutely nuts that I couldn't flip it around and have one pointing the other way. Like, oh, that would have looked so nice, but whatever. So I ended up going through a couple of different flooring options when it came to the bowling alley. There were a few things that I had in mind, but nothing really ended up turning out the way I kind of was expecting it to. So in the end, I just went with a wood grain pattern that pretty much matched the wood grain of the actual bowling alley itself. I wish it was a little bit more closely matched, but yeah, whatever. Take what you can get, right? I did end up having to turn it because the wood grain was going kind of the perpendicular to the wood grain of the bowling alley itself, so I ended up having to use the greater than, less than keys, and you can kind of use those to turn the grain of your flooring a different direction, which really helps out quite a bit. And again, I did use Control F in the bar area to kind of round off some of the corners there. And of course, I wanted to do another little area that kind of had where you can purchase your bowling time and pick up your shoes. And I added a few more little of the locker areas, and once again struggled with the walls. What kind of walls does a bowling alley have? I think it just has like regular plain walls, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to do kind of like a little check-in area for the bowling alley, so I did add that over on the I guess you would say the right side of the building. Here it is. So yeah, just something, you know, small and plain, a couple of cash registers and stuff. A lot of this, once again, just like the first floor, a lot of it is added in once I go in and add the decorations, which you will be able to see that in the screenshots, but I don't want to show it in the actual build part of the video because that just like, oh man, it makes my videos so long because I spend so long decorating stuff and adding things in. So, and as you can see, I did finally find kind of an area for the light sign, the arrow sign, so I was happy about that. And again, like I just could not figure out what I wanted the walls to look like in the restaurant, so I did end up just going with kind of a regular old gray walls, and that is about it for the second floor. Okay, so we are on the third and final floor of the building, and this is kind of more like the adults hangout area of the building itself. This is where we are going to have a kind of a nightclub and then an outdoor patio bar area where we've got our little dance floor and our bar and kind of like some of the quote-unquote bubble blowers. The hookahs. And this is the only bathroom area that I did a little bit differently just because, I don't know, I felt like it. I felt like this area needed kind of like a bathroom hallway because, like, you know, you go into nightclubs and it always has like that dimly lit hallway to the bathrooms, and maybe I just go to weird clubs, I don't know. I liked the atmosphere that I added with like the lighting on that, so job well done, Ghastly, good job. Of course, I did keep the cloud. I kept the cloud mirror because I like it, so yeah. A lot of this floor is really, a lot of it is put in with the actual decorations. I don't really go too much into the outdoor bar itself in this video, but you will be able to once again see that in the screenshots because a large majority of that one is the decorating. And I know a little bit like the ducks and stuff is probably going to be a little bit too much for some people, so you know, you're welcome to just get rid of that. But I thought since this is like Ducky's a family fun center, that it would be fun to have like the giant ducks on the ceiling and, you know, just add a little bit of like kitschy weirdness. And yeah, I love the dance floor, how you can kind of see through. I didn't know that that dance floor did that, so I definitely will be adding that in again somewhere because I like it a lot. So really just a few more pieces here and there on like the ceiling of it and everything, and that is pretty much it for this build. Like I said, a lot of it goes into the decorating of this one, and yeah, I had so much fun decorating it. Yeah, so this build is available in my gallery. You will have to, of course, check the modded option, but you can pick that up. It should be available today, so you can pick that up at any time if you'd like. And yeah, be sure to like and subscribe for more, and we are headed to the screenshots, so I will see you soon. Bye!